Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing.
I'd like to call this meeting to order at the special council meeting agenda, Tuesday, October the 8th, 2024. And let's start with land acknowledgement.
The lands we know today as the Township of Centre Wellington have been home to Indigenous peoples since time immemorial. We acknowledge that we are on treaty lands and the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee. With increasing encroachment by non-Indigenous settlers in the Township of Centre Wellington, the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee could not continue their traditional lifestyle and settled in their villages along the Credit River and in the Grand River Valley. These Indigenous nations uphold their treaty rights within our jurisdiction. Today, the Township of Centre Wellington remains home to Indigenous peoples from across Turtle Island. We are grateful to have the opportunity to share and respect Mother Earth and are committed to building constructive and cooperative relationships with Indigenous nations.
Thank you for that. Addendums and corrections to the agenda. Disclosure of pecuniary interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. Seeing none. Delegations? None. Consideration of reports. So item 6.1, extension of draft plan approval, draft plan of subdivision 23T-16003, Storybrooke West, and we have a report from Brett Salmon. Welcome, Brett.
Mayor Waters. Through you, this is a time-sensitive matter, which is why there's been a request for a special council meeting. James Buyak from Sorbera is on this call and can speak to the matter further if necessary, but the time-sensitive matter results from the draft plan approval conditions that are within the subdivision approval for what's called Storybrooke West. And typically when draft approval is granted to a plan of subdivision, there's a lapsing provision that the developer needs to complete the final approval within 5 years. And typically that is met, but in the case of Storybrooke West, where it's a rather large subdivision with numerous phases, we always expected that they wouldn't get through the entire development in that 5-year period and would need an extension at some point. So we are down to, they're in the midst of developing the services for what they're calling phase 3, which has been split into two, phase 3A and 3B. Phase 3A, the services are currently being completed and are close to completion. And the township has given its clearance letter. But a few months ago, we've been having conversations about needing an extension for phase 3B. And because we knew that council knows from our capital project that the reconstruction of Colborne Street is a key project in the capital budget going forward for 2025. And it was through those discussions that I anticipated that we would bring forward the resolution of council to grant the extension when that service financing report came to council, and which was expected in September. That didn't happen. And so unfortunately, we only realized late last week that the date that the draft approval will expire is October 9th of 2024. And otherwise, we would have preferred, obviously, to bring a report forward in September. So Sorbera requested a special council meeting, and here we are. So staff definitely support the extension. The particulars of the draft approval condition require that there be a council resolution passed prior to the lapsing date. And so we need to adopt the resolution granting the extension. I provided for that extension to be 3 years, which is pretty typical in this case, which will be more than enough time based on their current forecast schedule. So I can answer any questions, but again, fully supportive of the request for the extension. Apologize for the confusion about timing and not getting it on an earlier agenda, but the time slipped by of the September council meeting, and again, we only realized late last week that we had to get a resolution to council before the 9th. Thank you.
Thank you, Brett, for that report. Comments, questions? Councillor McDonald.
Through you, Mayor Waters, I noticed in the report the density of these phases exceeds the current county official plan greenfield density target for residential development of 16 units per hectare. Is that also falling in line with the report that we received at the last council meeting from Watson with the density target?
It's not really quite possible to compare the two because the rules changed as to the way it's been calculated. And obviously we can't retroactively apply that density requirement, but it would be pretty close.
Okay, I'm happy that it exceeds. Thank you.
Councillor Wilton.
Thank you, Mayor Waters, and through you. I guess I'm just curious why it didn't come forward on a September report. I feel like I'm missing something here because this does seem fairly last minute to call a special council meeting like this. So I'm just curious, did some dates change or was some information changed or that needed to happen now that couldn't have happened in September? So if there could just be a little more clarification on that, please.
It absolutely could have happened in September. The report that we intended to embed it in didn't go in September, and so and it wasn't clear that report, it's a servicing agreement, so it wouldn't have been my report, but it would seem easy just to put the extension in that report. But when we realized even that report may not be coming soon, I set about to start writing a staff report for the next agenda and realized, oh, the 9th was the key date. So we thought that if it went in October, it would be okay. And it was only when I went to write that report that I realized that, oh, it has to be done by the 9th to conform to the condition. So that's why it came about quickly, because it was only just discovered the timing issue late last week.
Councillor Evoy.
Through you, Mayor Waters, and again, apologies, I'm not being disrespectful with the glasses. I have a very sore eye. Speaking to that issue as well, I'm curious if we knew that it was going to go over, why we hadn't discussed this considerably before this, not just last month. Like, it sounds like we knew that this was the direction we were probably going to go.
Well, again, it's typical for, obviously, you wouldn't grant the extension until you knew you needed it. But again, I will stress that it was expected to have come to council before now. And it was only very late that it realized that, oh, the date is the 9th and we don't have another council meeting. So that's why this report is here today and the developer requested a special council meeting. Certainly it was not a case of that the developer wasn't paying attention to the date and didn't know that they weren't working towards meeting the requirements of the draft approval. It's just the kind of coordination didn't happen before the last council meeting. So that's why we're here today.
Any other comments, questions from council? Okay, I'm going to read the, thank you, Brett. Are there any other things you'd like to add or?
No, but I think we should ask if James wants to make any comment.
Okay, James, I don't see you on my screen, but there you are. Hello, James. Welcome to our council meeting. Is there anything would you like to add?
Hello, Mayor, member of council. No, I am James Bouillak of the Sorbara Development Group, appearing today on behalf of Sorbara Tribute Nagas Holdings, Inc. Firstly, I would like to thank all for scheduling this meeting. We do apologize for the inconvenience. The significance of the matter, should it not have been brought to council today, is material to us and to the town. So thank you very much for making this accommodation. We are in full concurrence with the report to council issued by the Managing Director of Planning and Development, dated October the 8th of 2004, granting extension of the plan of subdivision number 23T16003 for an additional 3 years, for which again we are very much appreciative of. I have nothing further to add in terms of the details. Everything presented by Brett is correct. If there are any questions of me in relation to this matter, anything else we can shed light upon, I am here at your convenience.
Thank you, James. Anything from council? No, I don't see anything. So let's get to the why we're here. I'll read the recommendation that the Council of Township of Central Wellington support a 3-year extension to the draft plan approval of Plan 23T-16003 Storybrook West, and that a copy of the resolution and staff report PLN 2024-37 be forwarded and approval to the Approval Authority, County of Wellington. So do I have a mover for that? Councillor Craddock, a seconder on that. Councillor Wilton, any? Seeing none, all those in favor? So move. That we've moved that along, and that is good. Confirmatory bylaw. A bylaw to confirm the actions of council. Recommendation that the bylaw 2024-60 to confirm the proceedings of council at its special meeting held October 8, 2024 be introduced the first, second, and third time and passed in that. Councillor Craddock, seconder Councillor Adams. Any further comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? So moved. Do we have a mover for adjournment? Councillor McDonald, seconder on that. Councillor Wilton, any further comments or questions as it relates to adjournment? I thank you for all your time. All those in favor? So moved. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for participating in the special meeting. It was nice to see you again, James.
Thank you.